Actually, the funny thing is, for once in a genre, there's two Goliaths, so they're both just about as big. And PUBG's worried because PUBG doesn't understand game design, scripting, or how to make an open world because they've got a massive map which in this game, I'm going to make a video on open world. Well, I plan to anyway make a video on open worlds and what makes a good one and a bad one, which isn't to do with quantity, because quantity doesn't equate to quality. That's a false equivalency, which I'll talk about in the video later. But if I make it, that is, because there's always a pain of like having to find someone to do it with. But you know, shit, what was I saying? Because I just messaged someone. Oh yeah, with the open worlds in these games, it's only a fucking frustration to have it big, because all it means is you got to spend even longer time running through the map in a straight line, just hoping to get into the circle or find something. Because in Fortnite, you spend like 2 minutes walking in a straight line, and you'll see something unique, some new location. In PUBG, there's only one new unique location, which is a school. But even if you would, like, let's say that every building was unique in PUBG, which they aren't, right? They fucking aren't. They're all reused assets from the DayZ game mod, right? Anyway, exactly. I actually appreciate it not having vehicles because it's just built for a small map. And I appreciate it being small because that means I don't have to waste 10 minutes running in a line. At most, you're gonna spend 5 minutes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. And that's my biggest complaint single-handedly with PUBG. That, and I've talked about it, which is going more in depth in a review of the two games. But like, there's three phases for PUBG and Fortnite, Battle Royale games I should say, right? The first is early game, you land in a place, and if someone lands near you, then you gotta stress out to get a gun real fucking quickly, and hope that they don't get to it first and then kill them, right? And it doesn't matter what gun you get at that point, because you just gotta kill an enemy. So you need to, for that bit, be adept in using all guns, at least enough to know how to use them and kill an enemy, right? Which is entirely different to how the rest of the game plays out. Then there's the mid game, which is the easiest bit because you can play it in so many different variable ways, which is a bit that most people talk about. And then of course there's the end game, which is entirely different to the rest of it. In Fortnite, you need to get a ton of materials before then, right? Which you can get from either killing people or whatever. But in PUBG, it's like, PUBG is like annoying because with the end game, it has the first game, the beginning of the game, and the mid game decent. Assuming that it's not a buggy piece of shit, which it was, even when it was released as a full complete game, which to this day is not even on PC, right? Then like, yeah, I'd say the beginning and mid game are fine, but the end game is an absolute mess. And originally my biggest complaint with the game would have been the end game, because you get to the end game, you're sitting in a grassy field, you look at a bush and you're like, that's the enemy, and then you're kind of just rolling around on the floor just like, I can't see the enemy, where are they? And eventually you'll get killed because they saw you and you couldn't see them. That isn't a fun experience. That isn't like a cool epic battle to end the game. But in PUBG, in Fortnite, it is, because you build up a massive base and you're like, okay, even if I'm not in a base, I still get away. I can build up to them, or I can destroy their platform. Because you can, the environment in Fortnite, which is a huge thing that people don't talk about, they just talk about the building. Everything in Fortnite, and I mean everything, is destructible, which makes it extremely entertaining. So at the end there, if you don't have a base, you can just destroy theirs. If you're worried that you can't see the enemy, you build four walls around you so they shoot that and you can turn around to the position they're shooting you out from. So you got a fair fight. Yeah, that's pretty annoying. But, it's actually more balanced at the end of the game. The game is built, exactly, the game is built, Fortnite, for that end game. It's so well at the end there, like it works so well. even if you find it bullshit because the guns are unbalanced in this. Yeah, from unique art style to the game design, the actual new what is it, the new assets in this game, like which are all legitimate, like regardless if you like or dislike the game, is undeniably better or worse, right? Well, looking past that, then you know you got the actual complaints and whether you like the game or dislike it, like the guns and the beginning, mid game, and end game shit that I just talked about. But yeah, the guns again, um, you know, you can look at it and say, you know, in PUBG, they are more balanced and it does have a more realistic art style to it, which you know because it's just a mod for DayZ, that's not even an art style of their own. Um, but like the guns, but like the guns in what is it, PUBG, they're inaccurate as fuck. Is my complaint. Like, and you have to reload it when you get it, you know, so it's a pain in the ass. Like with Fortnite, it's extremely accessible, you know, and that's a hugely good thing. It makes it good for both pros and noobs alike, which is good for a game that you want to make mainstream and sell well. It's are way more accurate in Fortnite as well. The only complaint that I have with the guns, you know, because they're accurate, they're easy to find, you can tell what's better and worse than each other. You can look at it and you can get a statistics of the gun so you don't have to guesswork between, is this gun better than this or whatever? Like you'll immediately know just by checking in the pause menu what's better by like looking at the fire rate, the range, the damage per second and so forth. You check that shit and you're like, okay, this is better than this, or you look at the color before you pick it up and you're like, okay, this is better than this, you know. PUBG doesn't have that. You just kind of got to guess and play around with it, which is shit because you don't have a test mode, so you don't get to really do that. Leave, I have some bandages for you if you want. You know, but the one thing that is good is with PUBG is the damage of guns, like the damage they actually do. Um, in PUBG, they're actually quite balanced. Like, for instance, any gun can be useful in a gunfight except for maybe a pistol. And pistols are shit because, you know, it's a fucking pistol. They shouldn't be all that powerful. They should be the weakest gun in the game. And rightfully so they are, you know? And, like, he's got kind of an even balance list. Like, nothing, no gun really feels outright OP in the game, you know? They all kind of feel evened out, which is really good. Where else was the circle, by the way? Yeah, anyway, but as I was saying, like in Fortnite, they have the problem of making every new gun just 75 damage. They just make them absurdly OP. Every one of them, like the hand cannon, you know, the Fallout rifle, they always just make the gun. They're like, okay, what do we do with these? They're just like, I'll just make them 75 damage. I'm sure that's fair. It's like, no, it's not. It's not balanced. It's not even. You're just slapping on this odd number onto it. You know, it's not like give it like 30 damage or something. You know, that's a more reasonable fucking damage count. Like the hand cannon should probably have 50. Yeah, the hand cannon should probably have like 50 or 60, like the what is it? Like the revolver does. You know, shouldn't have 75. But so all the guns are all over the place, unbalanced in this game, and that's definitely my biggest complaint with Fortnite, which doesn't occur in PUBG. But you know, PUBG has so many other issues that drive me nuts. Like for instance, how you'd be running in a line for 10 minutes straight, just hoping to get into a circle, for instance. And absolutely, you're going nowhere and you won't find anything unique ever because there's no unique assets in the game. They do, because the guy doesn't know how to script. He doesn't know anything about modeling or anything. He just asked the DayZ community on how to make the game. Like, just outright. Then he charges us with fucking $40. Oh my god. Like, charging $40 for an incomplete mess, which is just a mod for a game, is absurd. Considering that you can get, what is it, Counter-Strike, which is debatably one of the best mods out there, which is only $15, right? As well as DayZ, which is only $20, and that is also another big mod, which outright DayZ is the whole reason why that mod exists. PUBG even exists, is because of that mod. So, it's absurd that it's trying to charge more for it when it's got less.